What are three main things that stop many Scrum Master from learning a job or aspiring Scrum Master from becoming a Scrum Master, and also those who are Scrum Masters from actually sustaining that position? Now, I want to talk about mastering the language. I want to talk about the practice, and I want to talk about sustaining the practice. And if you are an aspiring Scrum Master or you are already practicing as a Scrum Master, I want you to pay very close attention to this video because I have seen a lot of people after 24 months, after 36 months, they are still on the journey and they're like, you know what, it's not working. I've also seen people who have been Scrum Master, they lost their job, and it takes them more than a year to get back. So this is a part of the sustaining. Welcome to the Scrum Chatroom with Dr. Francis Mbunya. And today we want to bring you some realities and some of the things that you're missing and why you've been wasting your time trying to do A, B, C, D, and nothing seems to be working. Now, without wasting much time, if you're new here, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button because this week we want to give you purely what is missing in the gap for you to close that journey. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't get where they want to go easily is not because they can't do it. It's simply because they don't know exactly what to do. I'll give you a scenario. Let's imagine I give you an iPhone 15 Pro now, right? And then let's say you don't understand how to read. Right. I can teach you how to manipulate it, but if anything happens, you'll be limited. You always need help. Now, consider someone who understand how to read, right? And then they've been taught and they master the language. What happened? They're empowered. Consider someone who understand how to read, right? And they don't have any practice, right? They do try and error. They might mess everything up. So these are some of the part we want to put together this morning, but specifically to your Scrum journey. Now, let's start with the first thing. The first thing, a lot of people, when they get a certification, they think, oh, I can do it on my own, right? Now, this category of people, what happened to them is that they might struggle, go through all the videos, going through self-practice and get a job, but they are not proficient in their job. Why? Because they've never had a chance to practice. They're going to struggle throughout, and most often they give up along the way. Right. Very few people, less than 10% will be able to sustain the job through these means. That's why you realize 90 days, there are a lot of people that let go. And this is what we don't talk about. There are many people that get into a job and they don't spend more than 90 days. They let them go. And you realize it's because they did not have a solid foundation. What solid foundation are we talking about? Now, there are three stages I have my students actually go through the process. And those who actually go through these processes, immediately they get on the job, they become teachers. They can see the gap. They can help their company move that fast in such a way that they want to be converted in as much as in as little time as possible. We had one of our students immediately they got in their first 2 weeks. The company like, how can we buy you off from your recruiting company? Why? Because they saw what was missing. Now let's talk about mastering the language. Mastering the language is what a lot of people don't do, right? Mastering the language is not about certification. Certification is good, right? You get to learn about the theory, the concept, and someone who's certified and interviewing, you will hear them say, or according to the Scrum guide, they are for event, according to the Scrum guide, right? That's not mastering the language. Now you understand some of the theory, some of what we teach when we're certifying our student. But then you need to move away from talking about the Scrum guide, from talking about the theory to talking about in my previous role as a Scrum Master, working as a Scrum Master, this is how I facilitate the event. Ownership. Ownership is when you master, when you can talk confidently and not second guess, right? That's the first foundation we take all our students to when they get into our community. A lot of people say, oh, I just need A, B, C, they're missing. They say, okay, look, we understand this, but then you need to go through our first process of mastering the language. And when you sit on an interview, panel interview, we can validate that, okay, you can move to the practice room. And so many people that were thinking, I'm just missing A, B, C, D, it would take them more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They realize that, oh, there was still a lot to learn. And when they finally get that, it would take them less than no time to get a job. Many of you are kind of missing out on a whole lot of interviews. You've had 3, 4, 5 interviews and you've not had a job. Stop doing what you're doing, right? Stop doing what you're doing. Get help. Now, most often when I say this, stop doing what you're doing and get help, what I'm meaning is simply get into a community where you can challenge yourself. You can get people evaluate you. Now, a lot of people kind of fail to move to the second step because they think, oh, maybe hiring a mentor, not even hiring a mentor. You can have a mentor, you can have friends who are working Scrum Master, but they're not going to help you. Trust me. Why would they not help you? Number one, we'll talk about the concept of value, which I'm not going to go into detail today. Number two, there's only a little you learn when you sit with someone one-on-one. The bigger goal of learning is in a concept we call mastermind, where you have many people coming together challenging themselves. About 8, 10, 15 people are asking questions. Now, what is happening? Within a space of 1 hour, 30 minutes, you are learning from 15 different people. Compared to you sitting one-on-one with somebody, what are you doing? It might take you about 8 hours to learn what you will learn in a mastermind in just an hour. Right. So mastering the language is a very important aspect. Now, the second aspect is the practice. When you master the language, when you understand how to read, when you understand what a phone should do, right? Whenever you get a new phone, what happens? It's easier for you to be able to practice how to use it. Why? Because you understand the language, you understand how it operates. So when you master the language and how this concept flow, the combination between user story, futures, the combination between story mapping, the combination between sprint planning and using the Fibonacci sequence and all of that, when you're practicing, you can see the reality, you can see the correlation between reports, you can see exactly what you've been studying, which is the second phase a lot of people are missing. They're missing the practice. They might know the theory, they might master the language, it means they're on the practice. Now, the way we train our students with practice is that we get them into real project. They run Kanban project, they run Scrum project, they generate the report, they can see exactly what is the output, and they can be able to analyze. Where they don't have answers to that, we sit down with them, we teach them how to interpret all of these results. Now, the third aspect is the sustain, and this is where many working Scrum Master are missing out. I spoke to someone over the weekend and they lose the job about a year ago. They have not been able to get another job. And I'm like, okay, why didn't you get help? Why didn't you have you been following my video? And most often I say, join a community. Why didn't you get help? Oh, I thought I would get it on my own since I've been in a job. And now it's been 24 months. Now it's been 12 months of thinking I'll get it on my own. I often tell people, if you try something for more than 90 days and it doesn't work for you, save yourself the energy, invest. And many people talk about a money problem. Let me tell you how money works, right? Let me tell you how money works. If I tell myself this is too expensive, if I tell myself a $500 shoe, a $100 shirt is too expensive, I'm never going to go to where I can get a $500 shoe or $100 shirt. Why? I've conditioned my brain as expensive. Even when I have the money, I'll prefer maybe to go to the restaurant and spend that money on food compared to getting this. Why? I don't see the value in it. Many people look at coaching and mentoring as this is expensive, but this is what is supposed to get you to a six-figure job, and it's expensive. Now you have an opportunity to invest 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, let's say $5,000 to create an opportunity where you can duplicate 10,000s of dollars every month, and it's expensive for you. Now, when I see people like this, I tell you, hey, you're not yet ready to do what you need to do. You need to be hungry. I talk to people that spend thousands of dollars going to getting bachelor degrees, getting masters, getting doctorate. Nothing comes out of that. And I often tell people, with the Scrum market, it's still very young for you to get in this space now. If you miss that opportunity now, you might never have it again, right? One of the things I'm doing this week, and I'm also doing up to the end of this month, is that I'm creating a 30-minute free assessment to help people identify what to do and to point them to the right direction, right? I'm not creating it to kind of sell you a course to get in my program. No. When I meet with people, I listen to you, I give you a clear evaluation. Now, if at the end of the day you decide that, oh, look, what I'm missing is that I need support, I need someone that can help me go through faster, will help you go through faster. But the decision to make is purely yours and not ours. All right. Have a great day. And I'm hoping that you take the right decision today. And I always ask people, if you don't need a session with me, don't book it. My schedule is already too tight to kind of get in a session, and then you definitely don't have what to say. And if you book a session, make sure you take a time to attend it. When you book a session and you don't come to it, and you don't attend that session, trust me, I'll hardly reschedule because you don't value my time. But I'm hoping you're going to do that. See you and have a great rest of the week.